funny story about daylight saving as well, because I believe there was one time where Apple had an issue with their phone. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and for those who are new to my channel, my name is Mavis and I'm a Malaysian currently living in the UK. Today I'll be talking to you guys about things that you should know before you come to the UK. And this will hopefully be helpful, especially if you're going to be a new student that's coming to the UK. One of the many things that you should know about the UK that they're famous for, it will be their unpredictable weather. In the UK, it can rain in the first hour of the day and then it starts to shine in the next hour or so. Just like today, it rained in the morning and then in the next 10 minutes the sun starts to shine. And then after that it rains again. So a lot of people, they develop the habit of carrying umbrellas in their bags. And then the reason is really simple, is because you don't know what the weather will be like today. Another thing that because technology is so advanced right now, you can obviously download the app, the weather app. I've got two on my phone for some reason, but one is obviously the Apple's weather and another one is the weather app. And this app is really quite good because it gives me notification of when the rain will actually happen. So it will tell me like, oh, there'll be rain in your area in the next hour or at this time. So it's good to get that heads up. Although sometimes they do give me quite late notifications because it has already started raining for the past 15 minutes before they tell me, because they might not be very accurate, but it does help sometimes. So it's up to you. You guys can always download the app, the weather. When you guys are buying umbrella, I know that it might be tempting to get the really cheap ones from Poundland, but because they're cheap doesn't mean they're good quality. And because the wind in the UK is really strong, so the umbrella could easily be broken in the next minute the moment you open it up. It happens, trust me. The next tip I think will be especially useful if you are coming from Malaysia or Hong Kong. As students nowadays, you don't really read textbooks anymore. Most of your assignments is done online, so you would definitely need laptops or even tablets, and sometimes you just want to indulge and get yourself a new phone. I would say, especially if you're coming from Malaysia or Hong Kong and you're more interested in Apple products, even if it's not Apple products, electrical goods, especially laptops, handphones and tablets, they are much more cheaper to get in Malaysia or in Hong Kong. So if you're a student, if you're currently wanting to come over to the UK to study and you're from Hong Kong or Malaysia, I would suggest for you to get your electrical goods from there first before coming over, because the price difference, it can go up to about 300 to 400 pounds. I think when I bought my phone, I managed to save almost between 100 to almost 200 pounds. So it's almost like almost 1,000 ringgit that I'm saving off. So yeah, I would suggest or advise for you to get your goods from there before coming over here, because even if there's sale, if they're doing sale, the prices are nothing compared to when you're getting it from Malaysia. Next thing you might need to know about the UK is that a lot of the shops in the UK, they close really early. If you're studying in like a big cities like London or Birmingham or Manchester, I believe the shops will close around 8 o'clock, correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, usually the shops in the big city centers, they will close around those times at 8 o'clock. But in the smaller shops, in the shops that are in the smaller cities, they will usually start to close at about 6 to 7 o'clock. Especially, but on a Sunday, shops will usually close early nationwide, so it doesn't matter whether you're in a big city or you're in a small city. For some reason I think they call Sunday their rest day, and it's time for time together with your family. So a lot of the shops, they will start to close at about 4 o'clock to 5, I think latest until half 5. So if you do need to get your items ready on Monday, I would suggest for you to go to the shops early on the Sunday. But also bear in mind, because Sunday is apparently like their rest day, sometimes the shops, they open at like 10 or 11 o'clock, but on the Sunday, for some reason, a lot of the shops, they open at 12. So they will start the business from 12 and then they shut at 5. So not very long hours on the Sunday. The next thing to know about the UK is that there is something called the daylight saving. Daylight saving happens in March. The clock will go forward. So if just say we want to compare the time difference between UK and Malaysia from March till October, the time difference will be about 7 hours, and then from October up to March, the time difference will be about 8 hours. Personally, for me, I feel like the days during winter, they are shorter, and I think it's because the sun rises really late in compared to during the summertime. So during like fall, winter, the sun will rise around, I would say 7, almost 8. Sometimes you can only see the sun at 9 o'clock, but the sun sets at around 5. It starts to set from sometimes really early, from like 4. You could see like the sky starts to get really dark, and then by 5, 6 o'clock, it feels like it's almost 8 o'clock in Malaysia. The sky is really dark. So maybe that's why I feel like the time passes really fast during winter time, because the daytime itself is so short. Whereas during summertime, the days are really long. So the sun starts to rise from like half 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then it won't set until 9 or sometimes almost 10. You could still see the sun at like 9 o'clock at night. And I think I can show a video or a picture over here just to show you that, you know, it's almost 9 o'clock and the sun is still up there in the sky. So that's why I feel personally that the days are much longer during summer. I guess it's just something that you just have to adapt, because you might not get used to it when you look at your time thinking, oh, it's really bright out. It might only be about 6 o'clock or 7, when it's actually like 9 o'clock. Or during the winter time, when you think, oh, it must be about 7 or 8 o'clock, but when you look at your clock, it's only 5. So yeah, just something to keep in mind. Funny story about daylight saving as well, because I believe there was one time where Apple had an issue with their phone, and for some reason the clock didn't, I think that time the clock didn't change the timing according to the daylight setting. So I mean, we are all aware of daylight saving, but a lot of other foreigners, especially those who just came to the UK, they are not aware of this setting. So what happened is, this boy came to his class an hour late. So the class was meant to be at 9 o'clock, but he came in at about 9:50. And he probably thinks like, oh man, I'm such a good student, I come in early. But what he did not realize is because the time has already moved back. The clock has already moved back an hour. So he's actually very late for his lecture. So that was a funny story that I could think of with daylight saving. So don't really just depend on your phone, on your mobile, on your smartphones. They might be smart, but sometimes they're not smart enough. Get a manual clock as well to help you, so that you can get into your class in time. Next thing about the UK is that they've got like escalator etiquette over here. So especially in London, when you're taking the tube, because you have to go underground and you will obviously have to take the escalator, people will usually stand on the right hand side to allow people to pass through on the left. So just to bear in mind that there's escalator etiquette, not just on the tube, probably especially in London they mind this etiquette quite a bit. So just to bear in mind to stand on your right to let people pass on the left. So I believe it's just a habit or culture that they've ingrained in London itself, because a lot of people take the tube all the time, so which is why they do that. So this is just something, another extra tip for you to know just before you come to the UK. But you don't have to stress on following or remembering the tips that I said today, because obviously you're new to the country and they are quite forgiving towards foreigners anyways. Some people might be a little bit nasty, but then again, it's part and parcels of life. So hopefully the tips that I've given you today, they are quite helpful. And then if you have anything else that you want to know, feel free to comment down below. If not, remember to please click like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.